Hello class, in this video I'll be doing an application of the Gauss-Jordan method. Let's begin. The president of Sam's Supermarket plans to hire 2 public relations firms to survey 500 customers by phone, 750 by mail, and 250 by in-person interviews. The Garcia firm has the personnel to do 10 phone surveys, 30 mail surveys, and 5 interviews per hour. The Fong firm can handle 20 phone surveys, 10 mail surveys, and 10 interviews per hour. For how many hours should each firm be hired to produce the exact number of surveys needed? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight the important information here. So the first thing I'm going to highlight is the last sentence, because that's going to help us define the variables. And since the question's asking for how many hours each firm should be hired, I'm going to let X equal the number of hours for Garcia and Y equal the number of hours for Fong. Next, I'm going to organize my information so it is easier to create the system of linear equations. So starting with the phone, I'll highlight they need 500 customers to be interviewed by phone. So over in my chart, I'm going to write 500 in the total for phone. And we know that the Garcia firm has the personnel to do 10 phone surveys per hour. So I'm going to write 10 under Garcia. And Fong can handle 20 phone surveys. So I'm going to write 20 under Fong. We will do the same thing for the surveys by mail. So 750 by mail, so that's the total. Garcia can do 30 mail surveys per hour and 10 mail surveys per hour for Fong. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in the information for the in-person right now. Okay, so now I can go ahead and create the system that we are going to need to solve this problem. So the first equation will be 10x plus 20y is equal to 500. The next equation will be 30x plus 10y is equal to 750. And the third equation will be 5x plus 10y is equal to 250. And before I begin writing the augmented matrix, I want you to notice what's happening in this problem. Notice that the equation in green is a multiple of the equation in red. Actually, if you multiply the equation in red by 2, you're going to get the equation in green. So these two equations are the same. So we do not have to write both of them in our system. Actually, we can eliminate one of them because they are the same equation. So I'm going to go ahead and just eliminate the top equation and work with the bottom two. So my augmented matrix is going to look like this. Okay, and now we are ready to solve this problem. We're going to start by making this 5 a 0. And we can do that by taking row 1 and adding it to negative 6 times row 2, and that will produce a new row 2. So row 1 doesn't change, but the bottom row will. So 1 times 30 plus negative 6 times 5 will be 0. 1 times 10 plus negative 6 times 10 will be negative 50. 1 times 750 plus negative 6 times 250 will be negative 750. Next, we want to make this negative 50 a 1. So we're going to divide row 2 by negative 50. So again, row 1 doesn't change. But row 2 will become 0, 1, 15. So now we know that y is equal to 15. Next, we want to make this 10 a 0, and we can do that by going negative 10 times row 2 plus row 1 will lead to a new row 1. So this time, row 2 doesn't change. So I'm going to write row 2 down. Okay, so I want negative 10 times row 2 plus 1 times row 3. So negative 10 times row 2 plus 1 times row 3. In the first case, that'll be 30. Negative 10 times 1 plus 1 times 10 will be 0. Negative 10 times 15 plus 1 times 70 will be 600. And finally, we can take row 1 and divide it by 30, and that would be a new row 1. And that would be 1, 0, 20, 0, 1, 15. And since this is a word problem, we're going to have to write our solution out as a sentence. The company can hire the Garcia, is it a firm? Yep, the Garcia firm for 20 hours, and the Fong firm for 15 hours. And we are done. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce a website that is going to help you check your work. And I have that website here at the top. It's called decimus.com/matrix. So I'm going to go ahead to that website right now. And you should get a website that looks like this. To help solve this problem, what you can do is you can type in or tap new matrix. And in this case, the number of rows in this matrix was 3, and the number of columns in the matrix was also 3. I'm going to use all 3 equations for this matrix and show you it gets the same answer. All right. So now I'm going to type in the coefficients and all the constants for each equation. Now remember, that top row, we didn't include that in our work, but again, I want to show you that if we do include that equation, we will get the same answer. Okay, so now that we have the matrix in, I'm going to hit the arrow pointing to the left, and then I'm going to tap the RREF button, which stands for Row Reduced Echelon Form. Type in A, and notice to the right, we have the same solution of 20 and 15. So you can use this website to check your work. However, you will be required to show me all of those steps on your exam.